That's it.
Is a drawer for, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and it's, is it for the,
How many calories?
Kevin, you're counting calories?
Yeah, yeah, holidays is stuff.
That's what we can. I've been escalating
Here we
every year.
go.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Very good. Thank you.
Mm.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kevin.
Pam.
Good.
I do like it.
No, I have. 8 o'clock.
All right, we'll get our agenda's going here. Just one moment, I can hear that we're live. And we have the other people on the line there. Okay, good. So, welcome, everybody. This is the Lucy Robbins Wells Library Board of Trustees meeting for Monday, January 12th, 2026. Happy New Year. So, one moment, putting my own computer on line here so I can hopefully see if anybody's got questions and things. All right, I see a new face, Dave.
Dave Oregon.
Okay. And I'm gonna make a guess that you're a new appointee to the board?
Yes,
Okay.
brand new.
Thank you. So, we were not told that.
Oh. From the Republic, yeah.
No, you are more than welcome. It's just that paperwork is lagging behind, so I'm so glad that you're here tonight.
Yeah, I looked on the site this afternoon and I'm definitely on the site, on the town site as one of the numbers.
Okay, well, welcome. Terrific, thank you.
Make sure that, we get your email address and stuff so that we can get through to you. If you say it here, everybody that listens will have your email
Thank you.
address. So just make sure that we have that, or you can scribble it off and hand it off to Elizabeth. She's our secretary, and then we make sure that everybody gets
Thank you very much.
in there. So welcome. We are doing a dual meeting. It's hybrid. We are recorded, and we have some people that are remote and some people that are here in the office, in the room with us. So that's nice. One moment. I don't like it when our race meeting runs late because then my paperwork's out of order, and we'll get there. So I welcome folks. Dave, you're the new face here. Is Dave Nagel on? No. Okay. I did hear Dave Nagel called me because he's aware that sometimes we are the last ones to know. So he called and said that he had also been appointed, so he'll be joining us. I don't know if he's able to join.
Dave is gonna be.
Dave Nagel is coming back on the board as a Republican appointee, so
He
that's
just
great.
can't stay away. from
You
it.
must have got bored.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So he'll be coming on. So with that in mind, I'll go to Elizabeth for the roll call, if you will.
George Bernatho.
Here.
Jason Hip.
That's in account for.
Pam Canary.
Here.
Colleen Crook.
Here.
Iris Larson. Leanne Mankey.
Here.
She's remote.
Maureen O'Connor-Line.
Here.
Chris Riley.
Here.
Christine Shushin.
Here.
Diane Stam.
Here.
Lisa Maston.
Here.
Jennifer Hebert. Here. Sheila Rowell.
Here.
Kelly DeHaas.
Here.
Remote.
And AJ Siniakos.
Here.
Thank you. Anyone online for public participation? No. No. I don't see anybody in the room, so we'll move through. Next, I'll open it up to town council, AJ or Kelly. Do either of you have anything that you'd like to say or share at this point?
Tomorrow, there is a public hearing for the proposed change to the parking ban ordinance at 6:30.
The parking ban?
Yeah, for the winter parking ban. So that's happening. We're going to be discussing we're getting a presentation on red light cameras, at the beginning of the meeting tomorrow as well. And then we're going to be setting the schedule for our budget for the year. So not like a whole lot going on right now, but the storm is coming. So,
Oh, yes, I know you've already been through the budget cycle, so you know the time that takes. Thank you. Kelly, anything from your side that you want to add?
AJ summarized that nicely.
Thank you. I just, I get focused and I forget to look at the screen, so while I remembered, I wanted to give you the opportunity. The Secretary's report, George Bernacco, anything?
No report.
Approval of minutes. Did everybody get an opportunity to look at the minutes?
I have
Any
a
changes or
correction.
updates?
Yeah, there's correction, on page 2. About the monetary prize,
Mhm.
it says it alludes to the fact that we used it last year when in fact we didn't. It's new for this year. It says this was an issue last year as a 12-year-old girl who could not accept the gift. And we didn't offer it last year,
Okay,
so that has to be changed.
thank you.
And then I just have a couple of corrections, both on page 6 of the
Go ahead,
minutes.
Chris. Yeah.
And I'm making sure that I understand correctly and everything like that. I think we have Sonia's name in there. Is it spelled with an I or a Y? I think always said
It's a
Y.
Y.
Why?
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 Then
Sonia.
in the minute, said with an I, so I think that needs to be corrected. And then the other thing is on page 6 under old business, Republican should be capitalized.
Pam, you're slacking.
That's what Pam was gonna tell me. On page 6, under old business, talks about Republican.
Pam usually catches all of our grammatical errors. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else? No? Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
So moved, Maureen.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we'll go through this, seconded by your choice.
It could be Chris. Go ahead.
All those in favor of accepting the minutes as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Online, you can raise your hand, especially if you don't have a voice. You can even just visibly raise your hand. Any opposed? No? Thank you. The approval of minutes carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Activities calendar for our library and what's going on in January. I know you guys will all be surprised to hear that, we started up our 5K preparation race meetings. So, that's what was going on earlier for those of you that were circling around out there. You're more than welcome to come in and join, or more than welcome to just come in and sit down, whatever it is, if you're here earlier, but that's what happens. And if you're ever on remote, we have 2 different town meeting links. So if you've been getting emails from us on those town meetings, we have 2 of them. So the folks that were remote for the race committee had to get off that link and then sign into this new link. They're technically 2 separate meetings. But just so you know, that's what the schedule is there. And so the library budget, I'm assuming that you guys are well into working on that, but that's what, also comes up in January. It's usually due back to the town. I'm sure we'll have reports on that later. And then we'll be talking about some pep things later, and also, we start to prepare for the, director evaluation. I'll just go in a little bit more in depth for some of the newer members. You may not know, or you may not remember, but, our director, Lisa Masson, has the privilege of working for 2 bosses. I'm sure that's the way she sees it. So, she reports to the town manager, and she also reports to the board of trustees, so, she's gonna keep everybody happy. But because we are, she reports to us, we usually do an evaluation and, put that through, so that's what we're talking about. And we'll walk everybody through it, the new folks and others. So that's the, activity calendar. And I'm gonna go on to the treasurer's report. Leanne, I'm gonna give this as we discussed. You're okay with that? Shake your head. That her head was shaking, yes, and I will
Yes.
go through. Leanne very nicely put all the paperwork together. If you heard the few comments that she made during the race committee meeting, she really does not have a voice. I've been calling it a boomerang cold, but she's been, struggling with the season's delights of, not feeling well. For a couple of weeks, now, so I was gonna take it easier on her voice. And you can see me flipping through because I printed out the budget report that she nicely did, and I think I've lost it in my paperwork here. I have lost it. If you want, you have her thing right now? I can, oh, nope, I have it. I'm sorry. Uh. Next time we need 5 minutes for me to get organized between meetings. So for her report, and I'm gonna give a very high level, right? The checking unrestricted funds started at 89,000, ended at 96,279.32. We had a couple of grant and some memorial donation money come in.
92, it ended at 92. You read just the income.
What'd I do wrong?
If you
Oh,
looked at it, you want the bold figures, that'll give them to you.
Now you know why I don't do the treasurer's report. So, started at 89,105. We received, through donations, 7,173, bringing the total to 96,279. And then we had our expenses, total of 4,160, which brought, the ending balance to 92,119. I will never be an accountant, but maybe she could teach me how to speak like one. The money market, these are our restricted funds, and again, for folks that may not be used to all these terms. We are given donations and sometimes they have a tag on them saying that they are to be used for only one thing, so. You might be used to our Hanel concerts that we have and we've advertised for years, well, a gentleman in Newington, resident donated money to the library for cultural events. And only cultural events, so that's would be considered a restricted donation, and it can be used to sponsor those items. The type of cultural event is not restricted, but it's for that, so we would not use that necessarily to buy, say, large print books or, you know, Libby subscriptions, things like that. So restricted funds, so restricted funds were 55,360.95, and we earned just about $50 in interest, which brings us to 55,410.32. I should probably be having Jason do this. Money market at Kingston, and this is unrestricted funds. Opening balance was 445,618.30. We had some income and some distributions from the different funds, bringing the ending balance for that to 448,453.16. Investment for unrestricted and restricted accounts and Kingston Wealth Management, again, beginning balance was $467,283. The ending balance after fees and income earned was $469,679. I'm leaving all the pennies off. The George Hanel Endowment, speak of the devil, beginning balance was $468,044. We had an event, we had some income that came in, so the ending balance came to be $470,361.
One thing of note on the Hanel, the restricted funds at Kingston will be reimbursed because that's where I paid out the October event, and what the costs I've received to date for December. I'm still waiting on some credit card charges to bill in January for the food for the December event, and then I will transfer those funds so they will be even from Hanel to restricted.
Okay, thanks, Leanne. I'm gonna encourage you not to speak because it hurts me when I hear you speak. It is written. I'm giving a brief overview. It is in the written report that will be part of our minutes for next month. Restricted and unrestricted. Let's see, what's this? Oh, now I might have to go back to her. But I think I said I was trying to read. So restricted and unrestricted fully accessible funds as of December 31st. So we have in the Hanel endowment, it's restricted 470. So this is really just a summary of what we talked about before. So if I go down to the bottom, the totals of restricted funds that are available is 569,373. The total unrestricted funds available are 966,650. And then you might remember we got the Margaret Hooker Trust Fund endowment. And that total, after our beginning balances and, taxes, fees and income earned is now at 423,245. In writing, it makes a lot more sense and presented much better by Leanne, so thank you very much. Any questions for Leanne on this report? No. All right, thank you. Great job.
Thank you,
Investment
Diane.
accounts? Yes, you're welcome. Investment accounts, she did attach that to her report. And briefly, I'll just say each one of the accounts has more money in it today, year to date, than it did when it started on 1/31/25. You all have the details in your email, so. We're good from that. I'm not gonna torture myself or anybody else with me going through numbers again. You know, I use my agenda back. So you could move the slide forward. Thank you. So library director's report, Lisa Maston.
Okay. So, we submitted our proposed budget for, next year on January 2nd. And, the budget, we asked for a very slight increase in our digital materials budget, which is the ebooks, e-audiobooks, things like that. They're very expensive and it's an expensive, Hoopla's expensive for libraries because we get charged per download. So we asked for a slight increase in that line item budget, but other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. We are working on a couple projects, the self-checks, we're gonna be replacing those sooner than later, that we have 2 downstairs across from the circulation desk and 1 upstairs in children, so Jen is working on that. And then, we did order the new study carrels for the quiet study area to replace the other ones. They're almost 40 years old and they're not very tech friendly, so we received grant money to do that. The self-checks are gonna be funded by CIP money from the town. We had a couple great programs in December. The kids and teens had a winter arts and craft fair, which was very fun. They were upstairs in the Lionheart and children's programs room, and some of the stuff they do is amazing. And they have to set up their tables and they have to sell it to you, and they do such a nice job. It's very fun. And we had the goats for story time in their PJs. So it was even better. Yes, nothing better than seeing goats and PJs at the library. So, and then the other big news is Karen Benner retired. She was our assistant director on December 31st. Jen Hebert started on January 2nd, the day the budget was due. And we've thrown her to the wolves. She made a comment about she didn't realize that we were doing so many different things at once, because she came in right in the midst of Winterfest planning as well. Our offices have been taken over by everything, but she's doing a wonderful job. And I'm very excited to be working with her. And Jen's gonna talk to you about what she's been working on over the last 2 weeks.
All day.
She's working on a lot.
Oh, no, she's still counting the days.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you. Yeah, so I just started on January 2nd, so I'm getting my feet wet. I am doing a lot of training still with Karen Benner. Thank goodness she's still around, for her to answer all my questions, because I had a lot. And then at the same time, Michelle Patno was hired as my replacement as the head of records. And she started last Wednesday, and we have been doing a lot of training as well. So I'm training with Karen, and then I'm training someone else. So my days are very busy. Other than that, also personnel, circulation substitutes, we're hiring 2 of them. And we just did testing, for, our people that we were interested in. And so I've got those tests and I took a look at them, and then we're gonna go from there and see if we can get some couple people here. Project wise, there's a lot. Probably the biggest on my list right now is hotspots. We have them, they're in the building, and so it's just a matter of getting them activated, getting them out, getting them packaged, and then recalling all the ones that are current, the old ones and the dirty ones that are being used by patrons. different back in, so the new one's out.
So I will add that Michelle Patnode's job is open, so Jen's job is filled with a new person, but she's training. So Jen's doing a little bit of double duty there, and then Michelle Patnode is still doing her duties, which is a lot of tech and social media. As we're trying to hire this new position, it is a union position, so it has to be posted internally first. And then if no one applies, we have to go externally on this position, so. A lot of moving pieces right now.
Yeah, that's it, thank you.
But she's still here after, what, 12 days?
I'll pass this around to the board. Karen Benner gave us a nice little thank you card, and I forgot to mention it during communication, so if you can take a look, read through it. It's a nice note. She was appreciative of our goodbye gifts. But, that's what that is. Okay, Friends of the Library, Sheila Rao.
Well, we're getting ready for Friday, and everything's sort of in place.
Are there any tickets left?
Yes, so here.
There are a few tickets left. So if you have friends or family that want to go to the Winterfest, there are still a couple of tickets out there.
Yeah, last time I asked, there were 8, and I think there's maybe still around 8.
This morning, 5.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good.
Take it.
So we're, looking forward to that. We're starting to plan for the next book sale, which will be in April. And we're looking at, kind of strengthening our volunteer organization, or the organization of the volunteers. So we can get a better handle on who's in charge of what and who's doing what. So that's one of our projects that we're, starting to work on. That's pretty much all we're doing with all the donations coming in. We're getting ready for Winterfest and getting ready for, and we will be doing the craft fair again next year. We decided that that's gonna be another,
It was a hit.
it would seem to be a real hit. Yeah, everybody seemed to be really happy with it, all the big crafters and stuff. So that went over well.
Great. And thank you. Any questions for Sheila?
Not for Sheila, but would this be the appropriate place to talk about how the board usually donates money towards?
She's so good. Cause I had it right here. It's like, there's no place to insert it. So we had talked, to the point, we had talked, always about the board usually gives money to a gift bag, but we never actually did the official, vote for the approval. So, Chris, if you'd like to make a motion.
Sure, I'd like to make a motion for the board to donate to what's
$100.
$100 towards the Friends for the Winterfest,
This gift basket.
for the gift basket.
Jason seconds it. Any questions? Thoughts? Looking on no? All those in favor? Is that an in favor or a question? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
So your basket, just so you know.
It's
already made. It's our debate, okay.
It's a coffee basket. It's nice.
Perfect.
I don't like coffee, but it is nice. I will say so myself.
So am I paying you or am I paying the Friends?
Sorry, what was that? Leanne?
We normally give them a check for 100 and they buy that. Is that what I'm doing? Is still a check to them, or do I have to reimburse somebody for the coffee basket?
You have to reimburse Lisa Maston for your coffee basket.
Fill out the paperwork, girl.
So collect and submit receipts. So, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lisa, for putting that together. Making sure we get through that. So, budget, Leanne, is there anything else to report on besides what Lisa said, or?
No, this is something different.
Okay.
We did get the notification that the town manager wants to meet with the library on the 27th of January at 2 p.m. Leanne, if that works for you.
What day of the week is that?
What was that, January 27th?
Tuesday, yeah, 27th.
Tuesday, the 27th should work. 2 o'clock?
Yeah, okay. I just need to let them know. They sent out an email this morning.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. Any other questions on budget? Okay. Next up is PET, Planning, Evaluation, and Policy. And we have a lot of things going on here. I'll just briefly start it and then I'll let the others pull in, but we're having a transition for the chair of PEP committee, so right now, it's Pauline Crook. And I thank her for being the chair for many years and doing all that she's done. She's got a few tasks to complete. And Maureen is gonna slide right in and be the chair of PEP from tonight going forward as we go through that. So I guess I'll start with Pauline.
I think the last thing I would be doing is we were able to interview two people for the library board. And there were two excellent, wonderful ladies. We were thrilled to have people that are so experienced in volunteering. So the two names I'm putting forward is Melissa Hasseley and the other one is Joanne Massey. Both are relatively long-time Newington residents. And both have very extensive volunteering resumes. So, and we tried to discourage them, we tried to show them how much work they had to do, and they still said yes. So, I think that these additions will be great, and I'd like to put their names forward to the rest of the library board for a vote with them on
As corporate members.
as one.
And their first meeting would be February.
Yes. So, I'd like to put into nomination Melissa Hasley and Joanne Massey for corporate membership for the library board.
Do we have a second?
Do you have a second?
Second.
Christine Shushin, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? God knows.
Does anybody have questions or need further information before voting? Yeah, okay.
I thank you very much. And if you put
Did
on-
did we get an actual vote or did I stop it?
Yeah,
No, excuse me, and Pauline,
I will give them a call.
oh, you'll call, I was
I'll
gonna
tell
say,
them then.
okay. And just complete that circle, okay.
Okay, so they'll start in February, hopefully, they'll get maybe a mini tour of the library, but we also have to be, the new member books and stuff like that. And we offer that to the new, all new members, whether they're corporate members or town appointees. So Dave, Lisa and staff will reach out to give you a behind the scenes tour of the
Thank you.
library. And you'll also get trustee handbook, I guess is what I'll call it, all
Okay.
sorts of information when it
Yeah.
comes through.
Thank you.
And do that, so. Great, anything else on PEP to report or talk about?
No, so we have almost a full house.
All of a sudden,
Oh.
we went from barely having anybody to finally we have some.
And it
Republican
should be
positions and
noted
corporate
that,
positions.
Iris Larson will be submitting a letter of resignation as a corporate member. So we will have an open position, but she is also going to be requesting the emeritus position. Iris is a longtime library board member. So we still have we'll have the one corporate opening. We had 3 town openings that have been fulfilled now.
Yes, we're complete with the.
And do we still have 1 town opening?
No,
No.
so Dave,
Dave Nagel, he's not here in person.
Dave.
and,
Dave and Jason.
and Jason, is a 3 Republicans.
Right, and you
Christine, Pam,
and Pam,
Colin.
And,
Christine.
and
oh, and Christine, I
Christine,
keep
so
talking.
the 3
Right.
Democrats. So we're doing pretty good, I'm thrilled.
So when we
That's
fill
nice, that's
Iris's
nice.
position, we should have a full complement.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we'll have to get champagne.
So was there?
I can't do that.
No? Okay.
So if anyone knows anyone who really likes to work hard, just contact the pet committee and we'll take it from
Yeah,
there.
that's, if any of your circle in your business, professional, personal, chat it up. You don't know what people are gonna say unless you ask them. I know.
I thought I'd gone for a year or two.
Yes.
What's your point?
So investment, I think we went through that, with the items. With all of these new board members, I am again seriously gonna look at, the positions and chair positions. It's not fair to have new members just suddenly, assume responsibilities, but some people have talents I'd like to, take advantage of. Exploit, one way or the other. So as we go through that idea or those thoughts, that's where we would come from. And then just, quickly, every new member is put on the planning evaluation, did I get that right? Planning evaluation and policy committee, because it's a good way to learn the ins and outs of the board. So, when Maureen starts calling meetings and stuff, new people are there. And it's also a nice way because these meetings, we tend to run out of time, so you don't have a lot of time to get to know people a little bit. So the PEP committee is, one of, all committee meetings really are kind of a nice way to get to know some people or know their strengths and weaknesses and stuff. And Leanne, the person without a voice.
I just, regarding investment, right now, I'm kind of the interim until somebody else can take it on. I feel it's healthier for financial responsibilities for treasurer investment be taken by two different people. So I am going to set up a meeting with Dean probably in February, and I will make the committee, the whole board of it, aware of the date, so that if you are at all interested in becoming more involved in investments, everyone is welcome to come, but I would encourage you to do so.
Okay. Thank you, Leanne. Set it for investments. Okay, House Committee, me, Diane Stam. So a couple of things going on in House Committee. Lisa talked about the fact that, through some grant money, we're getting some study carrels and things. And I did get a very nice, long, walkthrough update from Carolyn. And I went to print it out and I had barely any ink left in my printer. So I have to plan ahead now for the beginning of our seasons, but enough to say that many of the items on our walkthrough have been assigned and have started to be tackled by the town and by other folks if we're there. Should I mention Churchill Door here or facilities?
I mean, it'll lead right into the facilities, we can segue into it.
Okay, so our Churchill doors, the door at the front of the building, is crumbling and falling off. As a matter of fact, patrons, brought a piece into Lisa, something I love here that we are saving. Joe Solomon, has come out and looked at the door. He's been working with, Leanne and with Chris and with grant, proposals and a couple of, vendors to, get a cost for what it would be to fix the door and put it back on. It's an integral part of the building, of our history and what goes through with that. It's a large cost. And the way that cost is actually gonna work is for grants to happen or for any one of our vendors to do business with us, we as a board are gonna have to sign a contract with them to fix the board. So I would look at this point, I gotta look at the sticky that I wrote down from the end, but I would look to get approval. Yeah, I don't have that sticky, but I would look to.
I can very abbreviated say, what we need to do is, because we have a final proposal for one contractor, the other contractor, as of today, I talked to Joe, Superior's coming back in, they're going to sharpen their pencil for us on their proposal. In essence, if we don't get a grant and we don't have any town monies, we're looking at something in the range of $55,000 or less. What we have to do tonight is basically commit to that we're going to do the work. And in the course of the next month, we should have the final proposals, and we have reached the second tier for the 1772 grant, which is up to $10,000. But we have to have the commitment from the board that we're going to do the work before the grant can be considered. So I would ask that the board authorize a not to exceed of repairs on the Churchill of $55,000, and hopefully it will be a lot less than that.
I'll second it.
Thank you, George. Any questions?
Yeah, I do. Well, for the 4 grants that we're soliciting, will that cover everything, or will we have to go and kick in the remainder amount?
So we'll, I do not believe that we'll get enough grant money to cover the whole thing. What we're hoping is that, so our not to exceed amount is based on a higher level, proposal that we got to finish. And those proposals are aging out. We've asked them to sharpen their pencil and come through. A realistic proposal came in at around 38,000. So realistically, that's probably what the cost is. We can get $10,000 from this particular grant that we're talking to. We're looking into some other areas, but we can't really go forward without, nobody's willing to write a check for $10,000 to us until we say, yes, here's our signed contract with the vendor. And we're close to having updated contracts. And Joe Solomon from Facilities helped go through with us to say, to look at the door and say, which one of these contracts makes sense. Now let's ask the vendors to all, give us their cost on our agreed upon scope of work. So that we didn't have, we had very disparate responses come back in from different vendors. So we went to the town to get some help. They determined what was needed.
And then, did they say what the turn time would be for the repairs? Just curious.
The turn time is, we have quotes right now that we have valid submissions on the quotes through February, and I think we can maybe get it through the end of February in terms of them keeping valid. The millwork is very, very defined, and with our national registry situation, we have to use certain types of materials so that this is historically accurate. So between the detail and whatever, if we get the contract signed in February, we can get on their spring schedule. The work is about an 8 to 12 week situation.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table to approve a not to exceed amount to repair the Churchill door for, what was the amount that we said? 55,000. Any further? Okay, I think motion's on the table, so it was made and it was seconded. Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, folks. I think it's critical that we get that door repaired. Or will be.
For the record, those funds would be from unrestricted funds.
Right, so that's the type of thing that unrestricted funds are used for. Some of the reupholstery of the furniture, when we can't get grants, we'll do that from unrestricted funds. So my comment earlier, Haynell is restricted, it's used for cultural events. It's not gonna repair the Churchill door, it's not gonna reupholster a chair. So that's just how we play by the rules, as that goes through. One thing that was mentioned, because we talked, well, I guess maybe that's more facility, so I'll let you go through the filming of the transition. So that's what I have under House Committee. Thank you for your vote, and we'll move on to Facility and Site with Christopher Riley.
Okay, so facility and site, since the last meeting, pretty much had, I'll say, I've had one meeting, George, Lisa, Michelle Patnode and I, continued our discussion on videos. Trying to do, as we mentioned before, really kind of focus right now, I think is really on like the short form videos. The ones that, we can put out there, kind of like the, did you know is what we started with and everything like that, but we're trying to make sure, we inform, but we also entertain, because you want to catch those eyes and you don't want to make them too long, because then people just scroll off. I think from the last meeting, the plan was to send out to the board some examples of some of the social media accounts that we've been finding for libraries. I know the one from Australia that I saw has been pretty humorous. I like that one a little bit more, but but we'll send that. I mean, we were looking to, tie these videos into like, bring your child to library day, National Library Week, be able to maybe, do like a bunch of short videos to, really capture people's attention on it. One thing that was suggested, and I'm hoping we're still planning to do this, is at Winterfest is video the setup as well as the takedown. We thought that it might be a little humorous to kind of speed that up and then slow down for a little bit of the Winterfest and speed it back up to, get through the cleanup. Just to kind of show all the effort that we have put into it. Based on our discussions of these videos, we're also kind of be looking to board and staff members who would be interested in helping develop ideas for the videos. Whether they want to be in front of the camera or not, that's up to whoever wants to do it and everything like that. But we're just looking for some additional volunteers that would be able to help us, as we try to produce these videos.
So here's a thought. We have many new board members. I don't know if it makes sense depending on when the behind the scene tour happens, if we would film that. And we can take snips in and out or use that or go through. And
We did talk about that, like a tour.
Yeah.
Right, but now I see 1, 2, 3 tours coming up.
No, I know.
So maybe.
Take
Like,
opportunity
take
to
the opportunity,
do it. Yeah, no, that'd be a good idea. Because it also adds to the, our plan for library expansion project of, being able to show kind of behind the scenes. Because like we keep saying, we do such a good job making it look nice out here. We want to make sure that, they understand really why we need, to.
Yeah, it's like the duck paddling across the pond.
And
You
it's
see the
like-
people, but everything looks
Yeah.
smooth on the top.
So if anyone's interested, please feel free to message me or George and everything, and we can work it out with Lisa and Michelle as far as what we can do for that. One of the other things for facility is I also received an update on the 2025 work orders. I know we had that in our presentation last February to the town council. So I'd asked for another one for 2025 and got, the number was roughly about the same. It's still a couple of hundred, work orders, for the year. I also asked for details and everything like that, so I got another, detailed summary, so I'm trying to work that into, potential future presentations, that we may have for that. And, those were the main items. I mean, I'm still trying to, as I said, still trying to work out, I think we just had, this past Friday, Diane and Pam, you were at the senior center, and Lisa were at the senior center to start our campaign presentations out to the community to try to, gather community feedback as well for the library. I don't know if you want to speak a little bit on that, or?
I'll say a little bit, then I'll turn it over to Pam. So thank you to Leanne for coordinating with the senior center, and for obvious reasons. If you think she sounds bad now, you should have heard her Friday. So, she was not in attendance. So, Pam and I scrambled. Leanne raised her hand on Monday and said, it's not gonna happen for her. And, so Pam had to switch gears and switch partners, and, we put it together and did a presentation. It won't surprise you that I was kind of the mouthpiece. I was doing a lot of the talking, but Pam was doing a lot of the watching. So if you want to give impressions of what worked and what didn't.
So I thought we had a very small group. There were only 8 people, but they were very attentive, and I could hear the gasps as Diane was showing some of the slides, especially the holes in the ceiling and the mold, and also the gasps at how many people actually took things out of the library, or the number of items that went out of the library. They were really surprised by that. They had legit questions at the end. I think one thing we should think about doing is offering public walkthroughs, so people can actually see it. Maybe once or twice a year, have just big citizen walkthroughs. so they can see what's actually going on behind the scenes. Cause I know when I saw it, I was flabbergasted. So,
And I know, I think we had talked a little bit about that in the past, and
Yeah.
essentially having, even, some board members, also be like docents,
yeah,
to kind of lead them around and show,
they were really interested in the library of things and understanding what that was and what kinds of things would be available. And I think what we need to do is really push the fact that we don't have the storage space for that right now, but should we expand, we could offer lots more. Diane did a great job.
Just in the opinion.
Yeah. I do think we could cut back on the history a little bit. I do agree
think
with
so,
you.
yeah, I think I got carried away a little bit with the history, but,
It was
It
about
wasn't-
an hour
it was not
presentation.
billed as, a renovation
No.
discussion. It was
No.
billed as, a conversation about the library, where it is, what it goes. So I did spend as much time on the history. And for those of you that have heard me say it before, the three-legged stool, what's a friend, what's a board member, what's the town responsibility in the library, what goes through, what happens from that area. And again, people don't understand that. The work that the Friends do, between Winterfest and the book sales and stuff like that. And all of the programs for all of the different ages that it supports. So that's kind of when I get.
Were the people in attendance library users?
Yes. Well, I know one was a friend, I believe.
But there were a couple.
Yeah,
Regular.
the gentleman in the back that asked all the questions
He's a
about
regular.
renovations and when is it gonna happen and,
So the word was bandied about.
Yeah,
direct questions were asked about renovation, when was it gonna happen? What was it gonna cost? What was the holdup?
yeah.
Somebody else directly asked whether or not the original building would be, preserved or not. And when we said that we were doing options, I said one of the options was to look at that cost, but it was our intent to keep the original building. And we got an emphatic, you don't touch that building.
Yeah. He said she would
So-
vote for the renovation.
Yeah,
If we
so
took it down.
like I said, it was a lot of information, people were engaged, they asked good questions, but I think we need to have more little pieces like this, because they don't know. And to the credit of the library, people come in, they see smiling faces, they get what they need and they go out. Some people in town, haven't been here since their last book report or term paper, because they don't need it anymore, right? They've got, other services, other things that they use, for entertainment or to get things, and they don't realize all of the things that are going on. So if you've never signed up to be a friend and you've never gotten a footnotes, you don't know all the programs and things that we do. We were also, amazed at how many days of the year we were open, over 320 days of the year. I mean, I don't wanna put us up against the police and fire departments, but that's a lot of days to be staffed and be open and be supporting the community, and it's for all ages, so. Again, I know I've gotta preaching to the choir here, but, those were the things that, were like, that many?
I appreciate, thank you for the feedback, and thank you for stepping in for Leanne. I know I saw the email, and I'm like, okay, it's the first week back at work, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to make it, so I'm glad that you guys were able to step up. And that's pretty much what I have for facility and site right now. I mean, I'm still working on stuff, and I'm gonna try to plan another joint facility and site and communication meeting to kind of go through, potential, whatever the next steps would be on this, so.
I have one thing about the grants. I was on the phone today with Alice discussing the 1772 grant. And we need to get back on a regular schedule because we didn't meet in December. So I know that there should be an email out because we still have to start working on the expansion grant.
I know I reached out before the holidays to ask about getting back on a cadence, but I didn't see a response, so. I'll
Well,
follow up.
she mentioned it today, so hopefully that will
Okay.
follow through.
Okay,
Good. Fund development, that's another area that, we don't have a current chair for. And that person or item or committee looks to handle some of our legacy donations. a former board member, Anna Eddy, did it, and she did so many things, so many times, it's kind of hard to compartmentalize some of the tasks that she did and put them in, going back and forth, but really fund development, legacy society, all of those things. Writing letters, doing stuff like that, that's what we would be looking to have somebody, chair a committee and reassign a committee. Again, our board numbers were kind of decimated, so it's hard to, everybody was almost on every committee. Nominations, Maureen usually doesn't, but this isn't the time of year for nominations, that comes closer to, the end of the season for us and, just before our annual meeting. Communications, George Bernacco.
Chris kind of covered a lot about, our meeting with Michelle Patnode, and just emphasize again that we're looking for volunteers for any of the video, and it doesn't have to be acting roles, but just, support roles or whatever, that anybody can assist. And then we also have to coordinate the facility and communication meeting. I guess we'll open it up to maybe some of the newer members in case they want to listen in and learn about some of the things we do. But yeah, that's all I have for that.
And you were, your committee was kind of voluntold to help write some of those emails, updates on the 5K website to work with
Yeah.
Kevin Mason on that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any questions for George on communications? No. Great. Old business, sounds funny to say it, but, our Newington Library 5K road race, of course, is Monday, September 17th, which is the Monday after Mother's Day.
It's Sunday.
Sorry.
Yeah, you said Monday at the thing too.
At the thing too, okay, Sunday, our races are always on Sunday, no matter what I say, they're always on Sunday. This is our 29th race, maybe for the 30th, I'll have it right. As that goes through, our meetings are, everyone on the board is part of the 5K race committee meeting, so our meetings are just before this one. So when you start getting announcements for some of the newer folks, if you can, plan to attend at that meeting, and then we roll right into this one, that's good. Pam, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I don't know if this is where I should ask this, but
Sure.
I have a sponsor who is a gold sponsor and she wants to pay by credit card. And we think the percentage fee is 3%. Is that right?
Leanne, do you know what it is?
It depends. I'm in the process. I was planning on meeting her the last week and I haven't been well. But TD Bank is willing to help us work to establish our own credit card port. Whether we do, probably a tablet with a square. And the thing with
So the
it,
question is, what's the fee? Do we know what the fee will be?
it depends on what it is, but it's about 3 to 3.9.
Okay, so how do I handle this? She wants to pay with a credit card. What do I tell her? Just to submit the amount with her information? How does that work?
Really, this is for a sponsor?
Yeah,
The sponsor can do it through the website, through the race website.
Yeah.
And in terms of putting their money in, they just have to indicate that it's a
Usually we have the
sponsorship.
sponsor pay the fee.
right.
If they,
So
that
if
would be
they're gonna
great if
send
they
us a
could do
check-
it. I'm sorry. I would say, why don't we just use an estimate of 3.5 at this point? I don't have anything firmed up at this point.
Do you want me to?
And you can ask them if they're gonna pay through the website, Pam. There's
There'll be a charge that'll show on the website. The website has that if she pays
Right.
with a credit card, it's going through Race Entry's MasterCard.
Well,
And then
I
they
believe
write us a check.
I believe she did that last year and did not pay the fee, so then we had to go back and recollect the fee.
Right, but
Right.
it should tell the fee in the structure when she signs up.
Yeah.
You can indicate
Yeah,
you'll
let
pay
us-
the
let us
fee.
explain. Let us explain. There's a box that you can check when you go on that website that says cover the fee.
On the race
Yeah.
website?
On the
Okay,
race
just to make sure,
website
okay.
when you enter. So any sponsor who wants to pay by a charge card should click on that button. So if they're sponsoring $500, it's gonna be the $500 and then they check to cover that fee.
Okay.
Otherwise, they can send us a check for
Okay.
the exact amount, but if they wanna put it on a charge, that's how it's done.
Okey-dokey, okey-dokey.
And we'll let that work out, whatever it is, it's good, because that will help us.
Okay. And we're still gonna recognize Mariel.
So, why don't you talk about your list, the status?
Yeah, my list is pretty good.
Excellent.
I've sent out the second letter requesting commitment and I did get a bigger response, but we had one person jump, it was the SMG group.
Mhm.
And they jumped from 500 to 2,000, so they're gonna be a finish line sponsor. And we've got 9 people, or 9 groups that have responded, and there's, I don't even know how many, but we're well ahead of where we were last year.
For
So,
responses, and some of them have already paid.
two
Two people have paid?
Yeah, Lisa has that list. Lisa, who was it that paid? Cause I'll,
Kingston Wealth paid,
yeah,
and then
and
James,
Ewart.
James Emord.
Okay, and then, we do need to figure out how to deal with the, individual.
Well, I'm gonna contact Jim and try and get more information from him. And then I'll also ask him about whether or not he wants to be recognized for the monetary awards.
Okay.
Carolyn told me on the phone today she got a check from H.O. Penn too.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
I didn't know that.
Good, and, Leanne, just so you know, we got a check from Kevin Mason for his, he likes to donate and do sponsorship, so that's in there.
And I
We just
believe,
got it
Ron-
tonight.
and I think Ron did a trustee donation.
Okay, so, those are there. Any questions for sponsorship for the race? Any idea others to reach out to? Saputo is coming back as the title sponsor again, so that's good. Keep going. Okay. And just a reminder, not only do we have those meetings, but we will be filling out and getting quite busy with our, tab list of things to do. And we should make the most of, Anna kind of straddling. She's resigned from the board, but she's willing to, carry through and help for this next year in the race, so, whatever we can, get from her, from her mind, from her theories, from things. And I'm sure, the process will morph over time, but, she was key in setting up a lot of these things, so, I hate to have it go to waste.
One other
then-
thing too is the trustees, we encourage them to sponsor, to submit a sponsorship if they're able.
Right, and that was usually $100 that we asked, although we
Yes.
do not limit you, should you choose
No,
to.
no.
Okay. I don't see any other questions. Hangle event, 2026.
I know I reached out to everyone to try to find out dates in April. I think that was kind of what we had settled on. It seemed the
What's the name of the group?
Pocket Vinyl.
Pocket Vinyl.
I had reached out to them. It seemed like April right now was fairly open to them. They were just, looking for dates. I think that last touch base before the holidays. So if we know of some dates, because remember, I think they were planning a workshop and a concert on two separate days, two separate days. I think the way, if I look back through my notes, it looked like we were talking about, it might make sense to have the workshop on like a Saturday and then the concert the following Friday, just to kind of, tie in and get interest, for that. But I would just like to know, a couple of dates that might, work out for the library and for us.
So the only weekend that you can't do
Yeah,
is, the 24th, 25th and 26th, because that's the book sale weekend.
okay.
And then we just have to check, does anyone know when Easter is this Thursday? The 5th, okay, so,
Easter's.
yeah, okay.
Oh,
So that would be the only weekend that's bad in April for the
Okay,
library.
is when, okay.
Didn't we say we didn't want to do it during the vacation time also? And that's usually somewhere around there, April, the third week. I thought we talked about that.
I can check, I don't know what the vacation week is. Do you?
Yeah,
No.
It's usually the
I'm sure I
third.
could,
Especially with a younger target audience.
Yeah,
yeah, I can look up on his kid's school calendar.
Okay.
But yeah, as I said, once I have those dates and everything like that, I can float it out to them and then they can.
Do we want to do Friday, Saturday consecutively, or Friday one week, Saturday the next?
That's a good question. I think the way I saw from people's discussions before, it seemed like people wanted it on like a Saturday and then the following Friday having a concert, but I mean, I don't see why, I mean, unless it's, I don't wanna be doing too much setup. I mean, their workshop doesn't seem like it's gonna require too much setup. It's, really the concert, I think that's gonna, require the most. So I mean, they just really need paper.
vacation week is the week prior to the book sale, so it's the previous week.
Okay.
That's National Library Week, I think.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
But, I mean, even if you said like the Saturday, like the 10th, and then you could have the concert Friday of the vacation, that's like Friday
Right
towards the end of
before.
the vacation,
Okay, maybe that would,
or earlier.
all right. I'll look at the calendar again there, like I just kind of put out the dates and then I can respond to them. if we're
And
all-
did Pocket Vinyl not have any availability in, May?
I didn't pose that question yet. I asked about April.
Do we
but-
want May? We don't want May. We don't want May.
We don't
We're
want
too
May,
busy
so-
with ours.
Newington school break is, April 13th through the 17th.
Yeah, so it's and then the following weekend is their book sale.
That's the book sale, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so I narrow it down to what we can.
Busy, busy. Okay. Any other questions or thoughts on Hanos? I know, sometimes we have concerts or another thing. We usually, we're required to have 2 events a year. So there would be a second event at some point.
Right, so the Shakespeareans,
That's right.
okay, so I'm going back, I've been going back and forth because they were. Certain ones they have, I was like, they were like, we'll see if we can do it, maybe you can't, well, so, they have. Like specific, shows, one's, a Harriet Tubman dramatization, which they do in February, March, but they were gonna see if the actress that does it could do it in, the fall.
In the fall, okay.
Yeah, and, so it's the whole thing about women's rights and activism and, they target it towards kids, not necessarily adults. So, one performance of that is $500. And it goes up from there if you do more than, if you wanna have it 2 times or whatever. And then, they have workshops, which I think is the best choice. And they have target groups, so they have a K through 5, 2 through 5, and 6 through 12. But I found that like the younger kids like really enjoyed it more than like the middle school kids. Because it's a lot more interaction, like kids that are in middle schools and they don't. So
They become shy. That
they
is.
get shy, but the younger kids love that stuff. So I'll read you what the interactive workshops, what they do. So students guest star with 2 professional actors in wherever you hold it. And they interact within the scenes themselves. And they have different versions of the programs. So one is neighborhoods of now. So they do interactive like acting about like a neighborhood and how you perform, whatever. One is folklore, one is mythology, one is El Barrio workshop. And those are all for the younger kids. And then for older ones, they have a Shakespeare workshop, intro to acting and improvisation. So those, each one is, each workshop is 45 minutes.
and it's $300 per program. So you might wanna do like a K-5. At, one time a day, and then later in the day have another one, and, have like
Same day,
2 to 5, or, same day.
same day, same group.
And they can do it here, they said, it would not be an issue, but they've done it in a lot of different libraries. So I'm just, going back and forth about which one.
What a space like.
Yeah, they could do it in here, they could do it out there.
Yeah, but the
They've done it.
library's open,
We'd have to move everything too.
but we're talking about daytime.
Well, we have to decide what we wanna do. You wanna do it during the
Because
day,
the younger kids, you wouldn't wanna do a Friday night.
you do it on a Saturday or whatever, however they wanna do it. Yeah,
So,
I didn't really get into too much details with them, but.
yeah, so I'm just thinking out loud, do we want to, talk to the team librarian, certainly Lisa and those guys about timing? Does it make sense to do anything like this as a summertime programming? Are we looking for things to do to bring kids into the library?
I mean, you can do that where they have a series where they do like
Because the library's
residencies.
not open on Sundays in the summer. So, I don't know if we can get, I don't know how much staff we can get in on a Sunday.
That's the thing is.
You can't get staff on Sundays.
Well, we could do part-time staff, we couldn't do full-time staff.
Just trying to think of how, or where, or when, so I think maybe, Christine, if, I like the idea of these programs, but maybe, work with the children librarians or the teen librarian at those age groups and run by. And say, does it make sense, one or the other?
And also depending on the size, you could always use the senior center on a Saturday,
That's a thought.
because they've done, science programs across the street on Saturdays, I think in the summer. So that's definitely a possibility, if, depending, I just don't know how many people they're into, they want.
Well,
No, I'm
They have
saying
to
for this room.
pre-register.
you would have.
Right, no, I'm just saying for the room and how much space they need, but
But this room, yeah, depending on how much space they need, but this room auditorium style is 60 people. Max.
Right.
Um,
So you define how many, I mean, you tell them. Or max is this many, and
okay, so again, I like those ideas, I think maybe we have to work it out a little bit more. What program makes sense, and I think probably our teen and children's librarians would be good to bring into this discussion. And just calendar events.
we could have them meet
Um,
as well.
Chris,
Alien.
the group that you're talking about, would that be geared toward a younger audience as well, more
teens.
teen into early?
Like
Yeah.
20.
So my question, and just for thought, we don't have to go into major detail tonight, if we have the Shakespeare group for the younger kids and the pocket vinyl for teens and early 20s or whatever, we might want to consider a third Hanel event to satisfy our regular audience.
Right.
The older folks, yeah.
Right.
So just,
Okay, I was waiting for somebody from the library to say, right, because we need buying it, because I am never again doing 8 programs in a year. So
no, we certainly
makes
with that,
sense.
but I
If they're
think,
spread out, if it's,
I think that our patrons look forward to our Friday night series,
Yeah.
It would be easier for us, I mean, concert wise, if you did a concert to do it in the fall, not do something in December next year.
Yeah, we want to
Because they
avoid
also are
that.
gonna have their, they're gonna have
That
the
fall's
arts.
fine. I
that
mean, I'm-
Yeah.
They're adding that.
I'm just saying, I think we need to
No, I think that's a
not
good
forget
idea.
that audience.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we should, if we're gonna do it in the fall, because we don't meet in July and August.
Right.
September,
For voting
might
on
be good.
things.
Yes, September might be a good month, end of
Mm-hmm.
September.
Okay,
Okay.
that sounds good. Any other thoughts or ideas regarding Hale concerts or events? Newington Afghans, I'm gonna skip over that. Yes, we do have the rights to that, and at some point we're gonna figure out, what to do.
there's gotta be an update, that's all, but, you know, again, it's not something that can happen on a short turnaround, so, if we're going to do that and we have the license for it, we need about probably a 3-month minimum window to change that all up with the loom.
Right, so I'm gonna skip over that for now. Open board positions, I am so proud to announce that we have fewer open board positions, so as of tonight, we have, an offer going out to 2 corporate members. We have, 2 new town, appointed Republican members, so thank you, to everyone for joining and being a part of our board. That's great. I think as Maureen mentioned earlier, we will have one more corporate membership coming open to retirement. New business, staff appreciation dinner. Remember we were gonna do that in the fall and then we were tabling it because they said, yeah, we really want to party with you guys, but we're too busy. Doesn't sound like they're any less busy, but traditionally, we do staff appreciation dinner with staff and the board of trustees. It's not spouses and stuff, it's the employees and it's the trustees to get to know each other and just to have a night who we're really saying thank you. You know, we appreciate everything that you do. So did they come up with any ideas?
They did, someone did actually, and I haven't been myself, so I can't say what it's
Mhm.
like, but the new marketplace in Newington. Have you been? Yeah, someone suggested that.
Where, the Pilates places.
Is it nice?
It's very nice.
And PJ's
Okay.
Coffee.
Where is
And they, it's,
You know where Shake Shack and the Pilates
Shake Shack
Club
is?
and, yeah, it's
Yeah,
by
Best Buy in there.
Best Buy, but
and
it's
they
that
do
new
private
plaza,
events.
just north of.
Do you want me to find out
Do
more?
they have their own caterer? Or
Yes,
do we have to?
no, they, I think, let
Or
me get,
they provide?
yeah,
Do they have a room?
they do, I think so.
Oh,
Do
we
they?
like rooms.
Yeah, I'll look into AJ. Yes, they do, and someone did go from here and recommended, they suggested that, so.
Okay, yeah, and so we wanna check the menu to make sure that we have enough diversity for some of our,
Yep. I'm sure that they have options. Nowadays, everyone seems to.
Okay, so we look at that and we look at dates and that's usually a Friday night.
Yep.
And while we treat the staff, the board members pay a reasonable fee.
I have a staff meeting next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, and I can ask about the month and Friday for you. Okay,
Yeah,
And I
let's look
can
at the
let you guys
schedules
know.
and see what's going on.
okay.
It's a very casual evening. No sounds of dinners or anything.
Yeah, it really is. It's fun. I wish more people of the staff would come. Normally what happens is all the veterans come, because the young ones are like, the trustees.
All those old
But
people.
we're really.
But it was a younger one that recommended it, so maybe
Good.
the tides are
Well, it
changing.
may-
First time I met Jen was at one of those and she was a baby.
Yeah.
She still is.
Trustees can be fun.
So,
And I remember you had fun.
So we'll be looking to figure out those details as that goes through. Next up is public participation. There's no one in the room. Is there anyone online? There's no one. Okay. Anything else from counselors or anyone that you thought of? At any point? Okay. Okay, so with that, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? What do you know, unanimous, passes unanimous. Thank you everyone for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
I think it's 8:45.
We're coming into some really good times.
Please take blueberry buffalo home.
Oh, I
Really
will.
is. It is